Well, hello everyone, and welcome to today's Help Systems webinar, Intro to Capacity Planning on IBM. Thanks for joining us. Today's webinar will be 30 minutes. We'll be recording today's webinar. Please feel free to chat in any questions or send in any questions you might have about today's material, and you will be receiving a follow-up email with a link to the recording along with some additional collateral. So first of all, upgrade planning should not be done on the back of a napkin. Looking at past performance and modeling processor and I/O needs is critical, as upgrades have gone horribly wrong, even when upgrading from Power 8 to Power 9. Now, even now, there might be times when batch processing conflicts badly with interactive or web services running on IBM. The capacity planning process on IBM can be more than an exercise we go through only when moving from server to server technology. My name is Chuck Lisinski, and I am the Director of Technical Solutions here at Help Systems, and it's my great pleasure to welcome aboard a new member to the Help Systems team, Capacity Planning and Performance Analysis expert, Doug Muma. Hello, Doug.
How you doing, Chuck? It's really an honor to be here. I'm really excited about the webinar, and I think what a great partnership for MPG to be part of the team. I think everybody's going to see it's going to be win-win for all of us.
Fantastic. And give us just a little bit of your background, Doug.
You know, it's funny, yes, that I'm actually the perfect person to be doing this webinar, because a lot of you who do know me know that I worked for a company in Chicago called Boise Cascade Office Products. Later became Office Max, but I was their tech support manager and had to do upgrades every year. I mean, I think about, like you said, Cyber Monday yesterday and Black Friday. My number one job responsibility was to build these systems so we'd be great in good shape for peak time. So, did that for a billion years, came on board with MPG and been there for 14 years and taught capacity planning and tuning and best practice guidelines for the last 14 years all over the world. So yeah, I'm really excited to be part of the team, and like I said, I think it's going to be win-win for everybody.
Well, and I suppose we're going to have some questions about exactly where this plugs in to the robot product line as well. So let's first of all mention the fact that yes, Mid-Range Performance Group was acquired by Help Systems in just in August, Colorado-based company, and has been doing the performance analysis and capacity planning for many years. And of course, the Performance Navigator tool has been used for doing sizing of new systems, whether you know it or not. It could be that one of your partners, your hardware vendor partner, may have used the Performance Navigator tool to determine what size of server you need to go with. And ultimately, they may have been using the Performance Navigator tool. So where that plugs into the robot solution set looks like this. So over here on the right-hand side, you'll see that capacity planning and analysis has been added to the robot product line in the form of Performance Navigator for IBM. And there's also a multi-platform Performance Navigator. So now, along with our real-time performance monitoring technology, Robot Monitor, we also have the ability to do capacity planning and past performance analysis and make recommendations. So one of the first things I'd like to do, Doug, is open up a polling question. And the question is, how well do you know Help Systems and MPG? All right, please feel free to answer that polling question. We're kind of curious how much exposure you've had to both Help Systems and MPG. We'll give you about 60 seconds to answer that question. And Doug, while they're answering, obviously, I mean, you knew of Help Systems. How far back do you go with Help Systems or knowledge of?
Yeah. I love that. I've known Tom Huntington for 20 plus years. Saw him at Common. That's where I learned about Help Systems, and then when I was at Boise Cascade, we had Help Systems products as well. So yeah, you guys are we've been partners in crime for a long time.
Yeah, and of course, Randy Watson at MPG, of course, has been providing insight into performance analysis for many years, and we appreciate all his hard work. All right, that is about 60 seconds. We're going to close that poll. And Doug, I'm going to give you control of the presentation.
All right, let's see.
There you go.
All right. So just a little for you guys that don't know a bunch about Performance Navigator. Again, just peace of mind. You know, it's just a cool tool that I used back back a long time ago to help me understand my systems at a deeper level. So again, when I was responsible for the production systems and had to make sure everything ran right, you know, this tool allowed us, and I will say this up front, it was a capacity planning tool for years and years and years. And what's neat about the product is it became a systems admin tool as well, where you could understand what's happening to all your production systems. And we have an entire suite of Power Analytics where you can do monthly reporting, weekly reporting, problem determination, and all of that you'll see here in a second will feed right into capacity planning projects. And like I said, we've learned, I've seen this, I've trained all over the world, but we've got this running in over 1,000 data centers worldwide. Just a neat, it's a perfect complement to Robot Monitor. I tell everybody that you're going to have the entire enterprise understood when you have these products. Just some screenshots of things that we do. Like I said, we do anything from LPAR reporting, enterprise reporting. One of my favorite things built into the product is before versus after analysis. You can see that bottom screenshot right here. That is a result of an upgrade that didn't go well. Look at that, what disk response time was before, and look what it did afterwards. That's why we're here today, so you guys don't have those kind of issues. All right, I'm going to ask right now, I'm going to do one more poll now that you guys kind of know where we're going with this, but I want to understand level set how much you know about Performance Navigator. So I'm going to pull down right there, and we'll give it a good 60 seconds, but just kind of level set us and let us know how much you know about MPG and PerfNav. There we go. My mouse was not helping there.
There we go. I've got the poll up. Yep. So do you have no experience with the tool? 1 to 2 years, 3 to 5, 6 to 10, 10 plus years, possibly. And let's see, Doug, I think I've got 2 months of experience with the tool now.
And I have 20 years, so I think that's good for it. We'll get a good balance there.
All right.
But I have 2 months of Robot Monitor, so you got me there.
Perfect. There we go.
See, that's why we're together. All right, and I see, this is kind of what I expected. So I would say it's about 50-50 people really having knowledge of the product, but there's a bunch of you out there that's have never seen it. So I love this. You get to be my clay, and just to show you how neat this, I will just say this up front. Never thought I would use a product like this in my life 20 plus years ago. And when I got it, my service levels went from good to impeccable. So this is fun for me, just to show you guys where you can go with your system knowledge and you'll become experts on your system, and then that's going to give your bosses peace of mind that you know what you're doing. So, all right, so let's go into the agenda. And Chuck, you can see my screen, right? We're back.
Can.
So,
yep.
All right, so just a real simple agenda. Why we're going to talk about why capacity planning is needed. We'll show you a proven methodology, and I'll do just a very quick demo just to show you how easy it is. All right, so let me go forward and get my. All right, so every time I teach Performance Navigator capacity planning, I always talk about the first site I ever visited, and I call it God with a sense of humor, because I couldn't believe this happened to me 14 years ago when I went to a very popular American company, and I was there the first 10 minutes, and the tech support manager said, Doug, hey, thanks for coming. I was teaching the class, and he says, can you give us a demonstration tomorrow to our CIO presentation on why our last upgrade was a catastrophic failure? And I went, excuse me? So imagine day one of me working for MPG and teaching class and doing my thing, and that was my first 15 minutes of class. So to be able to do that, I said yes, I would do that for any customer, but think about it, I had to go and figure out what happened. So I want to talk about what happened. It's such a great teaching example, and everybody that knows me knows I always use real life examples when I teach. So we'll just call it Company A had an IBM lease that was coming to an end, and they needed a new system. Their business partner gave them a recommendation, and here was the results of their upgrade. Now look at this. Can you imagine spending $1.2 million for an upgrade? That's 6 months after an upgrade, and that's basically a 24-hour graph where they're pegged between 8 and 5. So I'm back in my hotel room doing this analysis, and you're going to learn that I'm looking at historical data. It's a performance movie camera is on. That's the beauty of the architecture, where you can see exactly what's going on. No more guessing, no more having a feeling. So this is me back in my hotel figuring out the big picture. So now we went to machine pool faulting, which is the most important pool in the system, right? If your machine pool is not performing well, how the heck is your application going to perform well? Well, look at that. So I'm looking at that. I'm like, So my faulting rate was worse after the upgrade. Then I drilled down into a 24-hour view, way over the best practice guideline. And then you can see it right there. And then I looked at this and I said, okay, total faults in the system increased 77%. And then when I drilled down further, I saw that they actually had 8 gig of memory before the upgrade, and yes, you're reading that correctly, 5 gig after the upgrade. Now, I know all of you are doing the head turn like the dog going, huh? But this truly, now let's remember, popular American company, popular business partner. All right, so this is just, I'm just painting pictures here. So then I got to response time. Before the upgrade, they had sub-second response time. Then it got better after the upgrade, but then they had an application upgrade. I went, okay. So we'll just keep peeling back the onion further. Now we go to disk, look at what the disk ARM utilization was before, and then look at how it got worse after. And as we all know, as disk has gotten bigger in our industry, right? More space, but less ARMs. We all need to be cognizant of that. So we can see that ARM utilization went way up. And then I got to, let's look at their workload. So when I looked at the number of jobs in their system after the upgrade, they had an application upgrade where they added 136% more workload on the box. So I went, okay. So obviously they downgraded memory, disk arms were decreased, and they did an application upgrade on top of that. So obviously look at what happened, right? Faulting was bad, disk arm was bad, machine pool was bad. And by their own admission, right? I looked at it and said, okay, obviously we need more CPW, more memory, more disk arms. And by their own admission, it was a catastrophic failure. Now, what in the world happened? So when I talked to the customer, what I learned is they had an 18-year systems IT veteran that wasn't involved in the upgrade. I mean, this is a guy that knew these systems like the back of his hand. And you guys have been there. I mean, I was that guy at Boise Cascade and Office Max, right? When you know the applications, you know the business, you know what's going on. I mean, the capacity planning, if you get anything on, it is a true team project where everybody's involved. So in this case, they didn't. One of the key guys wasn't involved. And Chuck alluded to this earlier. I hate to say it, and I've been there, and I've been to places all over the world where they just did kind of a CPW math thing, and I call it, wrote it on the back of the envelope and kind of did a CPW thing. And I know the way this works. So okay, it's a little less memory, but there's more, cache out there, and this is going to help you. Well, the key is no one looked at the key performance components, right? They didn't look at what was the trends and what was everything going on. So we don't want any of this back of the envelope proven methodology. We're going to do a proven methodology, and I'm going to show you that now. All right. So what is the methodology? So I say this to everybody. Selecting your baseline data is the most important step. My crude drawing of a seasonal trend here, I use this at Boise Cascade religiously, right? In January, when new budgets had come out and everybody was having office products and buying it, right? That's when our CPU was very pegged. And when we get to May, it wouldn't be as pegged. And then August, when school would start up, right? Teachers, and then Christmas time. That ebb and flow happened every year. Well, when you're looking at baseline data to start these capacity plans, where do you want it? Where are you going to get your data from? Well, the perfect scenario is when you're really busy. So to me, the proven methodology, when you have the data, is you're going to go out there and you're going to get the busiest time of your year. I tell a story where I had a person that did an upgrade once that didn't have that data and still did a capacity plan, and they got lucky that even though they didn't have a peak period of the year, um, they got a system big enough where they were okay. But I don't want you guys to get lucky like that. You can artificially grow if you know you don't have a lot of data. In my real life example, I used to do this when I first got the product. Is I knew we had millions of transactions right in December. Well, if I had June data, I could artificially grow it right in the product and say, okay, I may not have the data here, but I'm gonna grow it. And this is a good technique when you know you're maybe opening up a new call center or something like that, and where it's not going to happen every year. You might be making a call center from 90 users to 200, and you'd increase it. So the product is built so you can do any kind of scenario when you're doing capacity planning. All right. So, what's the question as an old tech support manager that I used to get all the time? Hey, Doug, build me a system that'll last 3 years, 5 years, et cetera. I kind of love that question nowadays because I've heard so many answers. In the old days, it was 3 years, 5 years. Now I get people that, tell me, oh gosh, if my system runs 2 years, I'm happy and we'll just deal with it then. It's philosophical, right? It's up to management. But you as the capacity planner, you need to know, what the deliverable is, and you need to actually measure this, and we're going to show how to do it so there's no surprises, 2 years into it when they thought it was going to be 5 years and you said no, you said 2. You have to, everybody has to be on the same page. All right. So how do we do that to understand? I like to, it's kind of philosophical again, but I like to use current trends when you have the real data. I have a great real life example where I walked into a site and management wanted to build a new system based on 20% growth. But when we looked at the real life data, they were growing at a 42% clip. Can you imagine what would have happened if we would have built it at 20%, right? It wouldn't have lasted as long as they thought. So you can do real life trends, and another way you can do is we have a great technique, and it just works perfectly, where room for growth, where maybe you don't have a lot of data, but you can say, we've got a built-in room for growth calculation that when we build new systems, you got 50% room for growth. So again, very, very cool. Whatever, regardless of your methodology, you're going to build a system that's going to last. Just to show you, one of the things I love about Performance Navigator is we do Power Analytics where you have monthly reporting where trends are built right into it. I mean, this is a screenshot of something I would give to my team and my management every month so everybody's on the same page. But notice here you've got CPW trends built right into the reporting. Again, no more guessing, no more having a feeling. You see exactly what's going on with your systems. And there you go. You can extrapolate and you can see the trends. Perfect. There you go. And I would use that number if that was a real number, and I'll show you this in a bit. I could accurately say when you have a lot of data, this is really what's happening on my system. And I always say, don't confuse business growth, right? Don't confuse business growth with actual growth, what's going on in your system. In this case, this is really happening on my system, that near 10% growth. All right, so I think with that all said, I was one of the lucky guys. I've been taught, in IT, we're teaching, everybody teaches us, and we're all in this together. So what I was lucky enough to learn capacity planning from really good people, but some people don't feel comfortable with capacity planning. And the good news is, Help Systems, we can do it for you. We can, when you engage in us, you get an entire suite of deliverables where it's enterprise related or LPAR related. And not only do you see the setup and how you're configured, you see the performance. We give a neat state of the union report that you can see exactly what's going on. And then we give you recommendations when we're doing capacity planning. We'll show you, here's your new system, this much memory, and here's your disk, and so forth. So peace of mind for you guys. If you don't feel comfortable, we can do it for you as well.
Doug, before we
Sure.
do the demo, let's pop up another polling question.
Sure.
And the polling question is, where do you struggle with IBM I capacity planning? Select all that apply. And we'll give you guys 60 seconds or so to answer that. Question for you, Doug. What have you seen in terms of system upgrade activity in the past, let's say 12 months, has the pace of upgrades changed, especially since Power 9 came out?
Good question. A lot of people sometimes don't like to be bleeding edge, but sometimes it's kind of a loaded question. Some people do. Um, I've seen for me, I've seen an uptick in us doing capacity planning for sure.
Okay, yeah, and I know I've spoken with many hundreds of our help systems customers, and Power 9 is coming on quite strong.
Yep, I agree. And you're going to see in this demo. I mean, I'm going to do a very basic demo, but I'm going to just show you how easy it is. All right, so I'm looking at the poll. That's an interesting response. Um, yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of what I expected. Yep.
I'm going to share that just for a second. Looks pretty well spread. There you go. Polling results, 43% said gathering historical data, visualizing, 33% said defining peak performance, 50% interpreting the results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody, I got this saying, Randy Watson taught me this many years ago, and it's such a great saying. You know, anybody can make a graph, but what does the graph mean? So I like that the top one that says gathering historical data. One thing you're going to learn about Performance Navigator, it's the movie camera on your system. To have every day, and you saw in my screenshots, if that customer would have just looked at their performance data and saw the real life trends, they would have been fine. So that having Performance Navigator, there's no impact to your system. It's less than 1% of your disk, and to have that peace of mind that you can see what's going on, it's just silly not to do it. All
All
right,
right, let's see live.
let's do the demo real quick. It's very simple. So proven methodology. What did I say? We're going to get our peak day. So we're just going to show you, and I'm going to maximize my screen here. So I'm going to do a peak day, and I'm going to look. I like to look at my total CPU.
Doug,
Yeah.
I don't see your shared screen yet.
Ah. Did you give
Oh,
me
you know what? Let's give you presenter
control?
control.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
You see me now?
There you go.
All right, show my screen. There we go. So what I did, I actually went in and did graph peak day, CPU total. I like to see how full my glass is. And then what's neat about this, and you guys know this, you might have an anomaly. Is this really your peak day? Is it not your peak day? Like I said before, it's a very team-oriented project. I deal with my applications folks, all my marketing team, accounting team, and we look at everything, the projects throughout the year, and all that feeds into capacity planning. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go in and say, all right, is this my day? Yes. If not, you can select it, or if not, you can hit this and go to the green arrow and see other days. So very cool. You can you can use any day you want, as long as you think that day is valid. And I'm going to select this day here. I can get that's perfect. So I'm going to watch this. I'm going to go in and get my GoToMeeting thing out of the way, and I'm going to select this as my what if day. So what I've just done is I said, hey, this is my peak day. Let's do it. So now you just go into and what I did before, and then for the sake of time, I'm not going to do it, but I did my trends where I set the trend line and did all that. But just to show you that you would do that as part of your methodology. You saw the screenshots, but all you do now is just go into what if new, and then check this out. This is literally how easy this is. So this is bringing in my peak day, and what's neat about the product, as you can see here, and I'm going to move this GoToMeeting thing out of the way. Maybe. All right. So watch this. This is how easy this is. Here's my frame view. One mouse click, I can set to my current performance. So I go in here, and now this is my peak day, exactly what we saw before. There's my partition one and how I'm configured, really simple. And you want to see how easy it is. If I wanted to adjust my workload, and maybe that example where I was showing you that we were, opening up a new call center, and I wanted to go from, 80 users to 200 users, you could go in here and you could increase it. right? And then you go in here and you can see the growth built right into it. How neat is that? And then you want to see how easy it is to go to Power 9? Now, I'm going to show you CPU today on another webinar. We can show you DASD. We'll talk about external storage and BIOS and all that. But for today, this is how easy it is to model. And you're going to go in here and you're going to have fun with this because you're going to be able to look at system A, system B, system C. That's what I always did. You give your CIO choices, and it's all about, they want it, do they want it 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, 4, so forth. But look at this. You simply go into here, you select your Power 9 boxes. We have every Power 9 that's out there. We work with IBM every year and we get that. And look at this. Green systems is peace of mind for you guys. Those are systems based on my workload that's going to give me 50% room for growth. So if I wanted to go in and I'll just randomly pick this system here, watch this. There's my frame view, which is neat because a lot of people, when you do capacity planning, we're showing you one LPAR today, but imagine when you'd be doing all your LPARs, they'd all be loaded into the model, and you would go in here. But you want to see that? There's your frame view. Watch this. One mouse click, and now, wait for it, calculate default LPAR configuration. And what I just done is I've given you guys a day one configuration of what this LPAR would look like on day one. And at 0.46, if you're an MSP, maybe you want to get down to that level because you only have so much CPW. But for me, I would go out there and I'd either make that 0.5 and so forth. Chuck, that's really how easy it is. I know we just wanted to give you a high level methodology and show you how easy it is, but I think now we can open it up to some questions.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to take back presenter control. And the first question is, how do I trial this software?
Great question. For you guys, simply you can go to the MPG website. You can actually download the product, and then you can contact us at help or MPG. And what we do is we'll get you a temp key code, and then what we like to do is we don't want you just to go out there blindly and do it. We will set up a demo with one of our sales reps. It's going to be me. You can actually email me directly from this and call me anytime. And then what we'll do is we'll just set up a demo so you can actually not only use this for capacity planning. When you see it, you're going to use it for your whole enterprise just to manage all your LPARs and the like.
Gotcha. Okay, so we did talk about, or I mentioned right up front that, is capacity planning just something you would do when you're going to change frames? What about today? What if I'm going to stay in the same frame?
Great question. Okay, so if you were on the same frame, so I'm going to go back. Everybody, Chuck, why don't you? Actually, I'll just describe it. When you're in what if, what you can do is instead of going to that Power 9 thing that I did, right? I can literally go in there and just add cores. So if in my example, I had 0.6 cores and I had CPU on demand, right? And I've got a couple out there, I can go out there and say, okay, what would I look like with one more core, 2 more cores? And you go in there and the graph will just show you exactly where you'd be as far as your utilization.
Gotcha. Okay, we've got a question. Is Performance Navigator no longer a standalone product? And actually, well, I'll let you take that, Doug.
No, PerfNav is going to be PerfNav just like it was before. Just because we're under help, it's going to have. Hey, listen, we're going to make this product world class, even better than I think it is now. So, yep, you would just use, it's going to be a standard operating procedure, right, Chuck?
Yep, same great tool that if you're using now, it's going to be even better.
Hey, Chuck, I see a question. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. If we got one more question.
I do, and I love the MSP question. We are an MSP, other licensing options. I just wrote an article about this in the IT jungle. I'm very passionate about this. MSPs, what we have to worry about is we think about it. Just because you take your workload from your office and it goes now out to the cloud to an MSP, MSPs will have to get Performance Navigator on there so you can still answer the questions for the customer I always use the term the CIO is not going to stop asking what happened yesterday at 4 o'clock. So the MSPs will just literally get licensing, just like you would do if it was in your own shop.
Awesome. Thanks. So before we go, one more question for our attendees. What sort of follow-up would you like from us? Are you interested in possibly a tech update, which talks about all the help systems tools that you own? And we talk about such things as our roadmap, and hopefully we'll understand your roadmap better. Would you like a demo of Performance Navigator? Would you like to trial the product? Would you like more information about our capacity planning services? I'll leave that poll there. Doug, great pleasure to work with you today. I'm sure we'll be doing quite a bit of this in the future. And to everyone who attended today, really appreciate your time. Thanks. Have a great day.
Thanks, Chuck. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.